There comes a moment in life when everything feels like it's on hold. The clock ticks, days pass, but inside you, silence. No movement, no breakthrough. You see others advancing, achieving, glowing, and yet you feel like you're standing still. It's in that void that most people either give up or wake up. This is where the first master key enters: definite major purpose. Not a random goal, not a casual wish, but a deep soul-aligned direction that overrides fear, distraction, and hesitation. Imagine aiming an arrow without a target. Useless. But now imagine the clarity of a sharp vision that lights up your spine, like your cells suddenly remember why you came to this earth. That's what happens when you uncover your definite major purpose. It becomes the axis around which your entire reality starts to turn. But why do most people never find it? Because they're trapped in inherited mental patterns, unconscious scripts passed down for generations. They pursue goals not because they matter, but because they were told those goals should matter. The real question is, what truth, if you were radically honest with yourself, is trying to be born through you? Napoleon Hill called this the spiritual foundation of success. It's not just about getting rich, it's about becoming aligned. When you activate this purpose, your energy organizes, your decisions gain weight, and the universe begins to respond. Your mission is not to chase success, but to become so tuned in that success can't help but chase you. What if the life you crave is simply waiting for you to become the version of yourself that can hold it? Still, having a purpose without faith is like having seeds but no water. That's where the second key emerges: applied faith. We're not talking about blind optimism. This is a science of belief, one that transmutes invisible conviction into tangible manifestation. Hill said it clearly: faith is the eternal elixir that gives life, power, and action to thought. Think of it as a vibration, a field you enter. When you apply faith, you're not just hoping, you're partnering with the unseen laws of creation. Most people think they'll believe when they see. But the truth? You'll only see when you believe. The mental movie must play inside you first, on repeat, infused with emotion, before the external screen reflects it back. Have you ever felt an inner certainty that defied logic? That's the signal. That's you tuning into a frequency of success beyond reason. Now pause, because here's the trap. Many people start with faith, but abandon it when results delay. Why? Because they mistake incubation for failure. But every tree spends months growing underground before it ever breaks the surface. The roots of success grow in silence. The key is persistence, faith that refuses to bend in the face of outer noise. This kind of faith isn't loud, it's grounded. It's in your posture, your habits, your breath. It's not about waiting, it's about preparing. Every day you act as if. Every step is proof of your belief. The world eventually bows to the one who refuses to flinch. Then comes the third master key: going the extra mile. At first, it may sound like sacrifice. Do more, give more. But this principle is the secret portal to abundance. It's the paradox. The more you give beyond expectation, the more energy you generate. This key unlocks a powerful dynamic, what Hill called the law of increasing returns. It's energetic, magnetic. When you serve beyond obligation, you raise your frequency and tap into a reality where overflow is the norm. Why? Because few people are willing to cross that line. So when you do, you step into territory that very few ever reach. You become irreplaceable, unforgettable, unstoppable. But there's a deeper layer here. Going the extra mile doesn't just mean in work, it means in thought, in emotional presence, in spiritual discipline. It's when you choose to meditate for 5 minutes more, forgive when you have the right to resent, study when you could scroll, love when it's easier to withdraw. It's the invisible extra that compounds in the invisible realms. And eventually, the visible shifts. Imagine life responding to you not based on what's fair, but based on the energy you secretly poured in when no one was watching. That's the alchemy of this principle. It transforms you. Now ask yourself this: how many doors are closed in your life because you only knocked once? Hill said the habit of doing more than paid for creates a vacuum that must be filled with blessings. And that's the essence. You are not waiting for life to give you permission. You are generating momentum from within. Every time you go the extra mile, you activate an invisible law that multiplies your return. Even if no one sees it immediately, the field remembers. The field always remembers. And yet, these principles aren't magic. They're mechanisms. They must be lived, breathed, tested. You don't need to believe it all at once, just enough to begin. Choose one thing today, define your purpose clearly, feel your faith as action, do one thing extra without expecting applause. Then watch. Watch how reality begins to organize itself around your new vibration. It's not about becoming someone else, it's about becoming who you've always been underneath the noise. What if the successful version of you isn't far? It's simply the real you, unblocked. This is the path few walk because it requires inner work, not shortcuts. But those who walk it don't just change their bank accounts. They change their entire timeline. Because once you step into alignment with these 3 master keys, you stop chasing results and start embodying them. You become the frequency of success. And once that happens, you don't ask for opportunities, they find you. You don't hope for breakthroughs, you become the breakthrough. But can you trust yourself enough to live this way when no one else around you does? Can you dare to hold your vision when the evidence still says no? Can you become the person who plants trees knowing they may never sit in the shade? That's the question that unlocks everything. Because at the end of the day, success is not a goal. It's a state of being. And you were born to embody it. So maybe the question was never, how do I become successful? Maybe the real question is, am I willing to remember who I truly am beneath the noise, the doubt, and the distractions? Because everything Napoleon Hill shared, every master key he revealed, wasn't a promise. It was a mirror, a reflection of the power that already lives inside you, waiting for permission to rise. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a deep decision. A decision to live with purpose, to walk with faith, to serve with fullness. And when you do, you awaken something ancient, something magnetic, something that bends reality in your direction. But only if you truly live it, not as a theory, but as a daily vibration. Now ask yourself, what would happen if today you chose to go beyond what's expected? Not for applause, but for alignment. What would shift if you stopped seeking external proof and started trusting your internal truth? And what if, just what if, the version of you who already has the life you desire is simply the version who finally believed? Maybe that's not just the next step. Maybe that's the beginning of everything.